When solving quadratic inequalities, you want to gather all your terms on one side of the inequality and have it less than or greater than your zero. Some techniques we looked at in the past for solving quadratic equations were factoring, quadratic formula, completing the square, those different techniques. This one we're going to be able to solve by factoring. These two terms have a 2x in common, so we can factor out a 2x. And that's going to leave an x plus 2 on the inside of the parentheses, less than 0. Now you still go ahead and set each factor equal to 0. So that's going to give us 0 for this factor, negative 2 for this factor. These two numbers are x-intercepts of the graph. So I'm going to sketch in some x and y axes. Our solutions are 0 and negative 2. Those are going to be the x-intercepts. In the original problem, the x squared term is positive. So the graph is going to have a valley shape. Now, if we wanted to know the point at the bottom, we could calculate the vertex, but that's actually not necessary for this problem. We just want to know when this quadratic is less than 0. Less than 0 puts us on this part of the graph. So your solution would be any value of x as long as it's between negative 2 and 0, not including 0. That inequality is not underlined. The problem at the bottom, I made it the same except greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0 means you include the x-intercepts and the part of the graph above the x-axis. So you include and above, which for this one, the left part of the graph that has been highlighted in red, that is from negative infinity to negative 2, including it, or the other part of the graph that's highlighted in red, 0 included, to positive infinity. If the inequality is underlined, you count the x-intercepts. If it is not, then you use parentheses, meaning you don't include the x-intercepts. Just so that we have a second example to look at, maybe not all the terms are on one side. Maybe they're scattered on both sides. If that's the case, bring all your terms to one side. On this one, we're going to subtract 6, and that will be less than or equal to 0. We can factor with a positive 3 and a negative 2. Setting each factor equal to 0, and again, this is just to get the location of the x-intercepts. We're going to get negative 3 for one of them, positive 2 for the other. Again, the x squared term is positive, so our graph will open upward, crossing the x-axis at negative 3 and positive 2. Let's sketch that in there. Now, if the x squared term happens to be negative, your graph will open down and look like a hill. But this one opens upward. Again, we don't really care about the location of the vertex for these. We just want to know the x-intercepts. And I'm just going to do a really crude drawing just to get the general idea of the shape of it. Now this one has an inequality of less than or equal to 0. The or equal to tells us to include the x-intercepts. Less than is to include this part. Less than or equal to. Now if you look down at the second example, like I did on the first slide, all I did was reverse the inequality. Strictly greater than would be don't include the x-intercept and look at the parts above the x-axis. Okay, so when it comes to reporting our answer, the top example is going to be the interval from -3 to 2, including the -3 and the 2. On the bottom, where the graph is highlighted in red, is -infinity to -3, not including it, or the other part, 2, not including it, to positive infinity. Any x value in those intervals will satisfy the original problem. When we switch over to rational inequalities, we're going to have the rational functions. The ones are built like fractions with numbers and letters in the top and bottom. This one, we're going to use the techniques from the previous section to sketch the graph. Feel free to use your graphing calculator to sketch the graph of these. The denominator is equal to 0 if x equals 0. So we've got to watch that one. The numerator is equal to 0 if x is positive or -2. Now if the numerator is 0, those are x-intercepts. If the denominator is 0 and you can't cancel it out through factoring, that's a vertical asymptote. Let's sketch the graph, and again, feel free to use your graphing calculator as much as you like. Okay, so we've got a vertical asymptote at x equals 0. We have x-intercepts at -2 and +2. Okay, so let's sketch the graph. Also recall when the numerator has a power larger than the denominator by 1, you can have a slant asymptote. Now we're not going to go through the trouble of long dividing to find all that out. I'm just going to make a really rough sketch of the graph. Okay, so that's what I've got on the left side of the y-axis. On the right side, I've got this. Make sure your graph matches. I double checked to make sure I didn't type in the wrong function, so this should be pretty accurate. Okay, now our original problem has a less than 0. Less than 0. Not including any x-intercepts. So that part's less than 0. This part is also less than 0. So let's write up the solution. This first green streak is -infinity to -2. Don't include it. Union. The other green strip is just a little more than 0. Don't touch the vertical asymptote though. Up to 2, not including the x-intercept. Now, a vertical asymptote will always get parentheses. The x-intercepts will get a bracket if the inequality is underlined. Otherwise, they also get parentheses. So that interval in green is the solution. Those contain all the x's that satisfy the original problem. Let's look at another rational inequality. The 3, let's move it to the left side, and that's going to give us x plus 12 over x plus 2 minus 3. Greater than or equal to 0. 3, you can write it as a rational expression if you multiply it top and bottom by x plus 2. Okay, now be sure to distribute the negative 3. X plus 12, distribute, that's negative 3x minus 6, all over x plus 2, still greater than or equal to 0. Combining like terms, negative 2x plus 6 over x plus 2 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, let's get ready to sketch our graph. The denominator is 0 when x is negative 2. And you can just visually inspect that. The numerator is 0 when x is 3. So we have a vertical asymptote and one x-intercept. Okay, let's put this in our graphing calculators and check out the graph. Since the dominant terms on the top and bottom of our fraction are equal, we'll have a horizontal asymptote at negative 2 divided by 1, which is negative 2. I'm going to sketch that in. It's not required, but I'm going to go ahead and sketch it in just to give us some help on graphing. Okay, so we've got, this is our left side, and then there's another part that comes in about right through here and flattens out. Remember, horizontal asymptotes flatten out the farther to the edge you get. Okay, let me recall, 3 zeros are x-intercept. We have our graph at the top. Our inequality is greater than or equal to, and that means include the intercept and anything above the x-axis. So the part we actually want, I'm going to highlight in yellow, is this part, including the x-intercept. So that's going to be from negative 2 to 3 with a bracket on the 3, but not on the negative 2. Never put a bracket on a vertical asymptote number. Only the x-intercept number if the inequality is underlined.